Welcome to Storytime with Tallulah. Today's reading comes from r/IDontWorkHereLady. Our first story is titled, My Taxes Pay Your Salary. No, they do not. This happened 3 years ago, but my friend reminded me of it yesterday, so I thought I'd share. It was the middle of June and my first weekend off in quite a long time. I've been giving my friend a never-ending rain check of promising to teach her to fish. Our schedules finally line up. Weather's perfect, it's fishing time. We arrive at a local lake. It's the type where you don't need a fishing license, just a pass for the lake. Money goes to the city. We buy our passes from the concession stand and head back to my car to get the gear. I brought 3 setups, one for me, one for friend, and one just in case. It's a really busy Saturday morning, lots of people. We do a mini hike across the lake to get our spot and get to fishing. Friend learns quickly. We catch a few before the sun's all the way up. We're pumped how well the day is going and decide to take a lunch break when it starts to get hot. At about 11, we take the stuff back to my car. We chill, eat, hydrate, and head back. While we're walking back, a group of kids break away from their families to follow us around. They were all boys, 4 of them. 3 of them were probably around 8 to 11 years old, and the 4th is maybe 6. I'm thinking they just want to watch us fish, and they likely told their parents where they were going, so I don't even think about it. We get back to our spot, but the kids are trying to follow us down the hill. The top of the hill has a trail. If you're careful, you can climb down to reach a small landing that's close to the water's edge. It was stressing me out watching these kids try and climb down, so I yell up to them a safer place for them to watch. Basically next to us, easier to get to, but there's a gap in between the landings. Once they got down, they decided to have a rock skipping contest. Not exactly polite to do that next to people fishing, but I let it go. Then, these kids decide to have a jumping contest. They're jumping from their landing to our landing back and forth. There's only a 2-foot gap, but if they fell, they'd definitely get hurt. Friend is getting more stressed than me watching them. Makes them promise her to be careful. They said what I probably would have said when I was their age. Fine. Whatever, guys. The ringleader of the group, oldest, maybe 11, then asks me if they're allowed to fish. I asked them if they have a pass. Stupid me. They say yes in unison. I told them if you got a pass, you're good to go. Ringleader puts his hands on my fishing pole that I'm holding and asks if he can use it. I pull it away. Say, no, bud, I'm using it. He picks up my just-in-case pole without asking and says, what about this one? No, that's mine and I don't want you hurting yourself with it. Little brat gives me an attitude and shouts, well, what can I use? I didn't even know what to say at first, but I pulled out Old Faithful, go ask your parents. It worked, they immediately left. About 20 minutes later, we hear a large group of people coming down the trail. It's the kids and their family, and the kids are whispering and pointing at me, mostly just ringleader. A female, a bit older than me, guessing mom, angrily makes her way over to the spot and lays into me. I don't remember everything, but the general consensus is that I'm ungrateful and I need to get shot. Her words. Kids are still close, so I decide to keep it PG. I also have a little issue with my hearing. If something is too loud, I can't usually make out the sound. Like, if you're yelling at me, I'm not gonna get every word. I explain I can't hear her when she raises her voice. She starts yelling louder. I'm getting nothing. Friend is mortified. I start her until there's a break and say, yeah, I didn't get a word of that. She almost starts to go off again when the husband/boyfriend older brother shouts something at her in another language and she stops. Angry lady. Did you tell these boys they couldn't fish? No, I said just the opposite. She's stunned. Ow. Why can't they fish then? They're allowed to fish at this lake? Me. They can fish. They're absolutely allowed to fish here. They just can't use my stuff. Why not? Everyone else here is fishing. This lake is owned by the city. Yep, sure is. Blank stares for way too long. You need to teach them to fish. Miss, I can't watch all of them. What if they hurt themselves? Yes, you are. My taxes pay your salary. No, they do not. Yes, they do. I pay taxes, and taxes pay for this lake, and they better not hurt themselves because if they do, you think I work here? More blank stares. Miss, I work at place I used to work, doing thing I did while I was there. Even more blank stares. I fix computers. I didn't, but it's easier to say that than explain what I really did. Silence. The poor lady looks so embarrassed as it clicks that I'm just a person fishing on their day off. But I don't even get an apology. No recognition that she was wrong. She just climbs back over to the rest of the family as they quietly speak amongst themselves, walking away in their shame. When they're finally out of sight, friend and I give each other the what the F just happened look and break into the most beautiful 45-minute session of uncontrollable laughter I've ever had. That is crazy. Wow, what a bunch of bratty little kids, man. They cause all sorts of problems. And the parents they sound like they're a handful too, aren't they? Our next story is titled, I don't work here, lady. That's why I refuse your tip. Obligatory, it happened a while back. Out with a friend eating dinner at a restaurant. Friday night, and it was quite packed. I excused myself to go to the loo. On the way back, a lady stopped me. My dear, would you mind showing me the restrooms? So I pointed her the way. She gripped my arm and asked if I could accompany her, as she's quite elderly with poor eyesight and sometimes lost her balance. I helped her throughout the process, down to assisting her in powdering her nose. She handed me a note. Quite a good sum, I would say. When we got out of the bathroom, to my utter confusion, told her I didn't work there, was just being courteous by helping her out. Her face went red and started apologizing profusely. I laughed, said it's all good, and took her back to her table. When I called for the check by the end of the night, our server told us it had been taken care of by the elderly lady who's dining with equally elderly husband. I swung by their table to thank her, and she gave me a hug. Yeah, lady, I don't work here, but that's okay. A little kindness never hurt anyone. Note to self, don't wear black blouse with black jeans to a restaurant where the server's uniform is an all-black ensemble. Edit. Woke up to many upvotes on this and 3 wholesome awards. You guys made my morning. Edit number 2. Guys, these awards are marvelous. Thank you. Didn't know this would blow up this way. Just wanted to share a memorable experience of a good interaction I had being mistaken for a server. Friends said I have customer service face. The reason why I usually get stopped a lot by people asking for directions or help. We be kinder to each other, okay? Stay safe, yo. Wow, that is a wholesome story. I expected something crazy, but that was actually really nice. Our next story is titled, Threaten Me Because You Called the Wrong Place? Have some jail time! I posted this as a reply to someone else's thread, so I omitted several details and a good portion of the conversation to shorten it. After several suggestions, I decided to post it here and add more details and conversation, which has made it quite a bit longer. It happened before caller ID was standard on phone lines, and I was a lot more long-suffering back then. Otherwise, I would have just hung up when she tried calling again. Also, this was over 20 years ago, so the conversation isn't exact. My work number is a digit off of the local Chuck E. Cheese's. Ours is XXYY, theirs is XYYY. We are an industrial supply company and don't even have a public entrance. We always answer, "Thank you for calling company name. How may I assist you today?" Most of the time, people understand when we tell them our number and the number they're trying to reach. Sometimes they'll double check with a, "Are you sure this isn't the right number?" I did have one idiot that knew we were lying because she was using the redial button, and it always dials the right number. She gave up after the 5th call. One time, though, a lady insisted on talking to a manager. Me, "Thank you for call. Put me on with your manager now." "I am the manager. How may I help?" "We were just there a few minutes ago and we were turned away because we didn't have a reservation. What are you going to do about it? I want a refund plus $50 for wasting my time." Me realizing she's trying to reach Chuck E. Cheese. "Are you trying to?" "I'm trying," can actually hear the eyes rolling. "To get a refund plus $50. All of you restaurant workers are idiots." "Ma'am, if you don't stop interrupting me, I can't." "Excuse me? You do not get to tell a customer what to do." Long profanity-laced Karen rant of how rude I am and that I wouldn't be working in food service anymore. "I'm the customer and you are trying to interrupt me? I don't think so." At this point, I hang up only to have her call back 5 seconds later. "Thank you," screaming so loud that the speaker was crackling. "You did not just hang up on me. I'm coming down with my husband and brother to take care of you personally. I hope your insurance is paid up." Physical threats? Game time. Me. Fake crying noise. "No, please, I'll do whatever you want." Her. "Give me your name now." My last name is Soul. First name is Richie. Just please don't hurt me. "Oh, I won't hurt you. I can't control my husband and brother though." Me, still fake crying. "Please, no, I need this job and can't work around kids with a black eye." "Well, you should have thought about that before disrespecting me. A black eye will be the least of your problems." "Sorry, I didn't mean to do so. Please, can we just forget this? I can leave the refund at the counter so you don't even have to see me." "Nope, you made your bed, now you get to lie in it. Maybe you'll remember this beating when you think about being disrespectful to another customer. Also, I want it in cash." Throughout this entire exchange, she never once gave me her name, so I had to ask. "Let me just get your name for the paperwork." her screaming.
Let me? Did you seriously just try to tell me what to do? Have you learned nothing yet?
Another long rant about how people working in public businesses are worth less than something you scrape off of your shoes.
I will have your job for this disrespect.
Please forgive me. I meant no disrespect.
No, I'm not giving you my name. You'll know me when we get there, you little weasel. We'll be there in 30 minutes. Get ready to clock out and get your affairs in order.
Slams the phone down. I called the manager, first name basis, because we were constantly getting calls for each other at Chuck E. Cheese, and told her to expect 3 people who will demand and possibly get physical to talk to a Richie Soul. She laughed and said, "That's a good one, but you missed the most obvious fake name for our establishment. Charles Formaggio." Anyway, I know who you are talking about. I have the cops waiting for her. Thanks. An hour later, I got a call from the manager laughing her head off because the lady was in there yelling about wanting to talk to some Richie Soul and screaming that some Richie Soul owes her some money. The police were there and arrested her and the 2 men with her on outstanding warrants and illegal possession of a firearm. Edit. I realized last night that some people may not be familiar with Chuck E. Cheese. It's a piece of place with an arcade and animatronic band, mainly for kids to celebrate birthdays. They require a non-refundable deposit to reserve their party rooms. Apparently, this lady thought she had a reservation, was denied, and felt she owed her deposit back, plus something extra. Also, regarding the illegal possession of a firearm, in my state, a person doesn't need to have a firearm. They had a pretty loose description that included BB guns then on their person to be charged. They only have to have one easily accessible, like in their car, and a felony warrant or conviction or parole. It's only conjecture that they had a gun in the restaurant and I didn't ask. Wow, that could have turned out really bad, huh? I mean, that lady sounds like an absolute psycho, but geez, I can't believe they came with a gun. Hopefully it wasn't with them when they went inside the restaurant. That's kind of scary. I'm glad no one got hurt and everything worked out for the better, hopefully. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you enjoy these types of videos, please consider subscribing and hit the bell for notifications so you know when more videos come out. If you'd like to join our Discord, we have an amazing community. The link for that's in the description below, along with all of my other social media links if you'd like to follow me on other places of the internet as well. Thank you all for your continued support. I hope you're staying safe out there. And with that being said, we'll see you next time.